It's Barnes and Leslie. Welcome to Friday. This is the Morning X. A lot going on today, including Sean Mullins. He came in for you early folk a couple of weeks ago. He's going to come back for the late folk. He'll be on the show about 9:20, going to perform live. Hang out with us in studio. Sean Mullins coming up on the Morning X. Right now, Sleaze. Presented by McDonald's. Best part about working at McDonald's, it's the people.
What in the world is happening on the Today Show? Mr. Zen Richard Gere accidentally giving Savannah Guthrie the middle finger?
Why?
Another wild moment. Well, he was on the show to talk about The Agency, his new show called The Agency, and they showed a clip from the series. And when they came back, there he is giving her the bird, and she was like, oh, you didn't show that, did you? Well, guess what? Yes, they did. But here's why it was a mistake. Gere defended his action by stating that the show clip didn't make any sense without showing his character giving the middle finger. That was the whole point of the clip, which is not what they showed.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to do, but I guess if they would have known, they could have blurred it, but it just happened so fast.
It just happened, and she's like, Cher was on here, and she just dropped the F-bomb, so I don't know what's happening anymore. Savannah Guthrie said that.
And I'm surprised that she called it out. I'd just be like, let it go. Let it go.
And so there it was, clear as day. And it did make it on the air.
Yeah, they will be fined for those.
It's crazy. Now, you've been hearing about all these burglaries, right? You had Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, right? That happened like early October. And then another burglary. This one was, do you know who Bobby Portis is from the Milwaukee Bucks?
Bobby Portis, yes, of course.
He lives in Rivers Hill, Wisconsin, also burglarized. And basically, this security expert said this is a sophisticated operation. It's not some guy that's going down to the local pawn shop. He's basically saying, now I think federal agents are looking into this, is that they know where you guys are when you're playing your games, right?
That's not so complicated, I mean, they just have the schedules printed out.
So I guess now they're saying, could it be connected to a South American crime ring? Quote, anybody that's had their home worked on recently and then miraculously had it burglarized, you can draw a very interesting conclusion from that. Some of these people were on the job site, may know people in these cartels, and may be selling the information. Doesn't that freak you out?
Yeah, it's freaky. I mean, that's why I hire a cop to house sit. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
But you said that earlier. Like, these guys are gazillionaires.
Yeah.
Why isn't anybody at home?
Exactly. Why are you leaving your empty, massive mansion with all your... And they've got a lot more toys than regular people like all of us.
So unbelievable. Very sad. Family and friends of the late singer Liam Payne gathered in Wolverhampton, England for his funeral on Wednesday. Suddenly passing away, as you know, at 31. They're still investigating. A lot of people were there, obviously all of his bandmates, but his manager wasn't there because of this investigation. So I guess he couldn't be there. Also, Simon Cowell, because he played a big role in creating One Direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a lot of the footage. It looked super sad. Guess who's not backing down? Guess who's still ranting about Zach Bryan? Dave Portnoy.
Yeah, he will not let it go.
Said he was done talking about him, but then he went on TikTok to vent about what Zach did at that recent UFC fight.
This is pretty hysterical.
This past Saturday night, UFC New York, Brianna Chicken Fry goes to the event, her first UFC event. She's advertising, she's going, she's all over the place. Everyone knows she's going. During the fights, this guy, David Anamo, wins a fight and gives Zach Bryan a shout. He's like, I'm so happy, Zach Bryan, like this one's for him. Can't wait to see his show in a couple weeks.
I want to come back here next month to watch Zach Bryan concert.
This guy, David Anamo, goes on a podcast. It was so odd. The podcasters are like, what's up with Zach Bryan? You're a big Zach Bryan fan? I don't even know who Zach Bryan is. His manager, his team reached out to my team like begging for a shout out. This small little psychopath is that pathetic and that lost where they got to beg UFC guys for a shout out just to try to rub it in. Like, Brown gives a f. We know you're popular, Zach. You don't need to bribe people to say your name, you pathetic little man.
Man, they are milking this for everything they can.
Yeah, I don't think there's any end to it either. Remember we talked about Jay Leno falling 60 feet You saw the video, right? He had
Yeah.
like black and blue marks on his face.
His whole side of his face was black and blue.
It looked awful. Now he's telling the story of how he fell down a hill in Pittsburgh before a comedy show.
I'm holding up fine. I'm right here. I'm talking to you.
Okay. Can I ask you what happened?
Well, I was staying at a hotel. It was on a hill. I said, where's a good place to eat? Oh, the bottom of this. So I went out. The restaurant was there, but to get to it, I didn't have a car. So you had to go walk about 1.5 miles around. I said, well, the hill doesn't look that steep. Let me see if I can go down the hill. Down! And then I fell down. Just boom, boom,
So
boom.
you rolled down the hill.
I hit my head on a rock, knocked me in the eye. There you go.
I don't know. Did you have to go to the hospital?
Well, I did the show, and then when I came back to LA, I went to the hospital.
So you performed.
That's right.
You performed first, and then you went, to get.
Well, it was only a couple hours before the show.
I want to know what advice you give somebody, to be able
Well, the
to
great
bounce
thing about
back.
this age, you don't learn by your mistakes. You just keep doing the same stupid thing.
I can't believe he did the show and didn't even go to the hospital after that.
How did he do the show?
He waits and goes all the way home?
Talk about a professional.
That guy, it's sad that the only news we're seeing now of Jay Leno is, accidents.
It's very sad, yes. Hey, an iconic voice actor is retiring. Yeah, after 35 years on The Simpsons, Pamela Hayden is retiring. The voice behind Milhouse Van Houten, Jimbo Jones, and more. Her final episode, Treehouse of Horror Presents Simpsons Wicked This Way Comes, is going to air November 24th. You know how many credits? She has 694 credits. She's been on the show since 1989. What a run, right?
What a nice career.
I didn't know this, but she's the focus of this documentary that came out last year called Jailhouse to Millhouse. It's about her life surviving an abusive boarding school and juvenile jail and other setbacks. She now speaks to teenage girls about overcoming obstacles and turning their dreams into reality. I had no idea.
No clue.
Unbelievable. Remember I told you about the French actor Lucas Bravo who plays Gabriel in Emily in Paris and how he was like dogging the show?
All right, yeah.
Slowly turning his character into guacamole. He's returning for season 5. How do you think that makes the cast feel? Like, isn't it going to be awkward?
Was that all about money? I mean,
Yeah, he hated the way he did not like what they were doing to his character.
wow, so he had the leverage. I would have thought they would have said peace out because the show's killing it.
Pretty unbelievable. Have you seen Don Johnson lately? He's in that Dr. Odyssey on ABC and Hulu. He looks amazing.
He looks like he's not aged.
Like handsome. He was on with Kimmel talking about his daughter, Dakota Johnson, and how she was like as a little kid.
She was a very eventful child. If I would leave my phone laying around anywhere, just kind of unattended, she would get on the phone and somehow get into my contacts and send obscene messages to random people. And I would, and also the other thing is you wanted to be very mindful about leaving blank sheets of paper laying around on your desk or stuff like that, because she would promptly draw a large penis on it.
That's
Like,
funny.
what a great thing to reveal about your daughter,
I
right?
know.
I'm sure Dakota Johnson loves that.
Thanks, Dad.
That's your Celebrity Sleaze.